everybody, welcome to Flak again. Unfortunately, Melody is still ill, so we'll be winging it here, just you and me. We're going to do a show today. It's going to be all about the entertainment industry and what's going on. Uh, One thing that's going on, you may have seen this. Obviously, everybody out here is aware of the WGA strike backed by SAG-AFTRA, which is the Screen Actors Guild. This is the Writers Guild of America. And for several months now, they have been striking the movie industry and television industry. And Drew Barrymore, who had taken her show off because of the strike, has brought it back, much to the dismay of the Writers Guild of America. They're not very happy with her. And she went on social media in a tearful apology to everyone for doing it, but she's still doing it. She's still bringing the show back. She says that it's because she felt bad for all of the crew that work on the show. And that is, whenever you have a strike like this, it isn't just the people striking, it's all the other people involved in whatever they're doing. You know, there's people that do the lighting, and people that build the props, and those people are all out of work too. And according to Drew Barrymore, that's why she brought the show back. Now, I don't know what else is going to happen because I'm hearing sponsors are unhappy and so forth. And she has kind of cooked her goose here. We'll have to see what happens down the road. But that's one of the things going on right at this particular moment. Let's see here. Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm not a real big fan of gory horror movies. I'm just not. Well, somebody had recommended this film to me, and I decided to watch it. So I even bought it. I bought it on Amazon Prime. It's a movie called Talk to Me, and it's an Australian. And I was very surprised at how good it is and how some of these actors that I'm not familiar with have really, really become something. Sophie Wilde, unfortunately, I don't have their pictures up here because StreamYard only allows you to have a certain number of pictures, and there's no way in mid-podcast that I can change the pictures. So I apologize, but I don't have any pictures of these people. Maybe at the end of the podcast, I'll try to bring them up and show you. But it stars Sophie Wilde, who's the main actress in it, and she does an outstanding job of this. Miranda Otto she plays the mother of one of Sophie Wilde's character's friends. Otis Danji and Alexandra Jensen. Those are the top four people. This was directed by, give me a break on this name, Danny Filippo. I hope that's correct. And Michael Filippo. I would assume brothers or maybe father-sons. It's made by Bankside Films in Australia. And it's the story of a hand that has been cut off of someone. And I forget how they got a hold of it, but it becomes a party game, like a Ouija board. And they have this hand attached to a base on the table, and you hold hands with it, and you say, "Talk to me." And the hand basically possesses the person doing that. And it's really freaky. I mean, it's obviously an Australian filmed movie, I don't recognize any of the sites, so could have been anywhere, but I believe it's in Australia because all the actors are Australian, and like I said, they're all unknown. I'd never heard of any of them, but it's scary, and it's not something for the kids to sit and watch. Uh, the I haven't seen the very ending. It had me kind of spooked, and it was late at night. I said, I really don't want to watch this right before I go to bed. I don't want to dream about the hand. But it's a good film. If you like horror movies, rent it and watch it or buy it. I didn't see a rental choice on there. It was only buy or don't watch. But excellent film. Really is. Oh, this is, let's see. Oh, about Drew Barrymore, just to go back, I forgot to tell you one thing. She was dropped as the National Book Awards host for their award ceremony after she made the decision to bring her show back. So it's cost her some money and notoriety to do what she did. So I don't know whether she did it because of what she says she did, or if she needed the money, or I don't know. I doubt if she needed the money. I mean, let's face it, her and her family have done pretty well for themselves over the years. Uh, you're never going to believe this, but after almost 10 years, they're making another Expendables movie, which is the violent action. The only one I've seen more violent than this movie is the John Wick movies. Those are all pretty violent, but this is not far from being as violent. And the new one has Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, and some other characters, but those are the main cast. It's directed by Scott Waugh, who did Need for Speed. It's a Lionsgate film that was written by Spencer Cohen. Now, here's the thing. You got to remember the original Expendables movie had actors in their mid-60s performing in this. Spencer, Terry Crews, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jet Li, Yin Yang, Wesley Snipes, Harrison Ford, Antonio Banderas, Ronda Rousey, Glenn Powell, and Kellen Lutz all declined to be in this one. And I think age had something to do with quite a few of them. If you've seen pictures of Arnold Schwarzenegger lately, he's having his age issues come upon him. Uh, so you can see when you've got a movie made like this, and you have that long a time period. Remember, these people all turned from being 65 and good enough shape to make a movie to being 75, and has someone who is 67. I know how that can be. I can do a movie now, but in 10 years, I don't know if that would be the case. So that's the chance you take when you delay making something. I had read that Stallone didn't want to make another one, but I think, I don't know what his finances are like, but that may have had something to do with him deciding to make another film. Movies that are coming out next year. It's really kind of pitiful, to be honest with you, that they can't make anything but a sequel. Every single movie on the list of movies coming out are all sequels, every one of them. Now, I'm sure floating out there somewhere there's a few original movies, which, I'd really like to watch. I tried watching all the original ones. When I see one that's original, there's one, I can't think of the name of it. It's got William Dafoe in it. He plays a cat burglar who breaks into this penthouse apartment and gets trapped there. Now, I didn't see the end of it because I'll be honest with you, it's really boring. I was hoping that it would be something that would catch my eye and I'd like it. But a lot of times I'll start watching some of these streaming films and it doesn't take very long for me to tell it's really not something I want to watch. And then I'll never watch the end of it. I mean, maybe someday I'll be bored and decide to watch the end. But there's quite a few of these shows that I don't watch. Now, something that I do is with TV series. I hate getting burned with the TV series where I'll get really interested in it and then they cancel it halfway through season 2 or something. And so they never finish it. And it's just waddling around in my brain, wondering what happened to the characters. But unfortunately, that's a real common thing now, especially with science fiction. If you like science fiction, do what I do. And I did this with The Sopranos and with a lot of series that I heard were really good. I wait until it's done. Now, my age, I don't know if I can do that anymore, but I wait till it's done and then I watch it. Because then I know that they completed the series, the story's done. I can even find out how well it was completed. Because some of them, like one sci-fi show that I was a fan of is Fringe. But they threatened to cancel Fringe so many times that they did the second to last season to kind of try to wrap it up. So at least it was wrapped up. But then they didn't cancel it and it ran to the end and it was real choppy and confusing towards the end. But that happens in quite a few sci-fi shows. Sometimes it doesn't kill them, like, for instance, a show that was on back in the 90s called Babylon 5. That one was another one that was dangling over the precipice of cancellation for almost the entire run of the show. But it did run its complete 5-year run, and it was good. But in season 4, Michael Straczynski, who was the creator of the show, he tried to put it together so it would be, if it did get canceled, that you'd understand what happened and so forth. But it really, there's a couple episodes that if you watch Babylon 5, you should just not watch those episodes because they really ruin the show if you watch it. Or at least it makes you very confused as to what's going on. So, Fringe and Babylon 5, there were other ones that, now, one that really, I was very proud of them. There was a show called Dollhouse. Now, after season 2 had started, I believe it was J.J. Abrams did Dollhouse. He realized, if I'm wrong about that, I apologize, but I can't look it up right now. But it was somebody like that if it wasn't him. And he found out after season 2 had already started that that was going to be it. And he managed to wrap the story up, which was really nice. And it was very clever. It wasn't just like, oh, they did that. No, this was really good. It enhanced the story, having that complete. So it really did help a lot. And I hope that a lot of the sci-fi producers and directors realize that it's in their benefit to do that. because then the next thing that comes along, somebody will watch it. Like I watch what he puts out. You know, another, just to mention another sci-fi movie or TV series, pardon me, that, well, they had a movie also, but Firefly, it didn't even run a complete first season. It only ran 13 episodes, and they made a movie. I mean, how many TV series that run 13 episodes get a movie made? And that was Serenity was the movie. It's an excellent film. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk about the movies from next year. You've got a sci-fi slash horror film called A Quiet Place, and it's all about these aliens that can't see, that they can only hear, and so you have to be perfectly quiet, or the aliens will attack you and kill you, and I think they eat you. I'm not sure what exactly what's going on there because I haven't seen the first one. It's just I don't like the gory stuff. Another film that's going to be coming out is Kung Fu Panda 4. 4. 4. And it's going to have all the people back, including Jack Black. He's going to voice the panda. And DreamWorks apparently just decided that there was just too much money laying on the table for them not to make another movie. So they're making one. And hopefully it's good. The stories I'm hearing is it's pretty good. Somebody's seen the preview, I guess. Another one, God knows how many of these they've made. This is Godzilla versus Kong 2. I don't think it's 2. I think it's more like 12. But this is, of course, done with computer animation. I saw a couple of previews, and it really does not look too bad. They haven't released any of the storyline. We don't know. They're apparently working together, as a lot of these later movies have them be buddies. And like the last film, they fought Mega Godzilla, I think it was. And so they're probably going to have a Mega Kong or Alien Kong, or they're going to fight somebody. But it sounds worth watching. Furiosa. Furiosa is a sequel to Fury Road, which was a sequel of the Mad Max films. Mel Gibson has gotten too old and too controversial to make any more Mad Max movies. So I guess we're gonna have new characters. The male lead in the film, whose name I'm sorry has escaped me, is being replaced. They have somebody else that's going to play the male lead in it. Okay, Kingdom of the Apes. You want to talk about sequels? How many Apes movies are there? There's got to be 10 or 12. And now they don't have anybody in the costumes anymore. See, nobody wanted to do them before. It was hard to get people to do them because you had to sit in a chair for 5 or 6 hours to get the makeup put on. So, Roddy McDowell was about the only one you could get to. Sal Mineo, I guess, did one. And it wasn't easy to find somebody to dress in that costume. But the old ones I love, especially the first one. The first one's got to be one of the best endings ever for a movie. And just in case you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. That's too good an ending to spoil for anybody. But watch Planet of the Apes, the one with Charlton Heston, if you haven't seen it, because like I say, that's got to be the best ending of a movie they ever made. I don't really like to bring up Disney because I don't like the stuff they're putting out. It's just, I just don't care for the stuff they're putting out. I'll just put it like that. Inside Out 2 is coming out. I wasn't a big fan of Inside Out 1. So whether Inside Out deserved a sequel or not, we're getting one. So there's they about 6 of their movies they still haven't titled, which is unusual for something coming up in less than a year. You would think they would at least title the films, but all it says when you bring it up on their website is untitled project. Okay. So you're going to want to watch Untitled Project number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, let's see here, Mission Impossible, another Mission Impossible. And apparently, this one might be watching because you might get to see the end of Tom Hanks, or not Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise. Sorry about that. They say Tom Cruise is going to hang out of a biplane up like at 2,000 feet. Now, Tom Hanks must need some money. That's all I got to say, because I don't care what they offer me. I wouldn't hang out of an airplane at 2,000 feet. No, no, no. So we'll see how good that one is. The last few haven't been that thrilling, I'll tell you. One that I guarantee you I'm going to have to take my grandkids to see is Despicable Me 4. It has all the same people, and I have liked all of the Despicable Me movies, despite the fact that they're sequels. I liked them. I saw them, took my grandkids to them, and I didn't mind them at all. Okay, now another Disney one. We have Mufasa, the Lion King. I don't know where they're going with that story because it pretty much seemed like they had wrapped it up, but I guess they found somewhere to go with it because it's coming out. I don't know how they're going to voice Mufasa because I had a momentary hiccup in the system here. Hopefully it's still working. Let's see here. I don't know what they're going to do about the voice because James Earl Jones' health is not real good. Last I heard, he was in a wheelchair, and he did not appear for the Disney Legend ceremony at D23, and that was several years ago. So I haven't heard anything, unfortunate, but I don't know whether he can do the voice or not. Disney always figures out something. I mean, they got somebody to do the holiday Haunted Mansion voiceover, and he sounds a lot like Paul Frees. And it's actually the guy that does the tram spiel at Disneyland. That's who's doing that. But it's really good. If you go and listen to it, it's very difficult to tell that it's not the same guy. But it's not because he's been dead for years. Okay, another one that's coming out next year on July 19th. This is a summer movie, and it's going to star Helen Hunt, and this is Twisters. So we're going to have another Twister movie. They haven't gone into a lot of detail about the plot or anything. Of course, Bill Paxton is not going to be in it because he passed away. 2017, I believe. So we're going to get somebody else in there. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. I liked the first one. I liked Twister. It was a good movie. All right, now here is a really interesting film. I'm going to go see this one. Now, it's called, and pardon my pronunciation, Joker Folie à Deux. it's something about two people with mental problems or something. That's what they said on this trailer I watched about the movie. But I forget who plays the Joker. I'm sorry, I should have written that down. But it's a good actor plays the Joker, and it's going to have Lady Gaga playing Harlequin. Now that should be interesting to have her. Now you have to wonder if they're going to make this a musical. I don't know, and I don't know if it's got Batman in it. They haven't really given you a lot of inside information about this. Let's see here, December the 20th, towards the end of the year, you've got Avatar 3 that's going to hit the theaters. It's, it's a water planet, and they're going to be fighting the ash people. I guess somewhere on this water planet, there's someplace that burns. So we'll see. We'll see how that comes out. Then you have Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now, I was glad to see this features Jim Carrey. Now, I had been hearing a lot of bad stuff about Jim Carrey, that he wasn't doing too well. And I'm glad to see apparently he's made a turn for the better. So let's hope that it comes out good. Just to tell you, I'm getting a signal from my Wi-Fi that the signal is unstable. So if you lose me in midstream, I apologize. I'm hoping that this is not going where I think it's going, because we've been having trouble all week with our internet. And I'm hoping that this isn't like a death knell. Okay, the warning went away, so let's hope that it's still I'm still on the air. All right, let's see. The last movie on the list here is Spinal Tap 2, which is going to star and be directed by Rob Reiner. That's all I'll say about that. All right. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about in depth today was a TV series playing on Paramount Plus. And that TV series is called The Offer. I am very pleased with the film, well, the series. And it's a limited series. It's only going to run this one season because they completed the story. But I'll tell you, this has got some great acting in it. For instance, it stars Miles Teller as Albert Ruddy, who was the producer of The Godfather. Now, this film, what it is a highly fictionalized story of the making of The Godfather. Now, Albert Ruddy was the producer of The Godfather, and he had to do backflips and everything you can imagine to get this movie made. He had to befriend a mobster. Now, how friendly he got with Joseph Colombo, I don't know. But there must have been something involved because they run the unions that make the films in New York, and this was made in New York. So you would at least have to be on some kind of good terms with somebody with influence there. Because if you didn't, you're not going to make your movie. So Miles Teller did an excellent job. One of the other actors that I was he went over the top, was Matthew Good. And he got into the character, and you believed it was real. Now, Matthew Good played Robert Evans, who was the Paramount president at the time of the filming of The Godfather. And like I say, excellent, excellent actor. Now we have, pardon me, I'm having to kind of shuffle around here. Okay, you've got Dan Fogler, who played, and he did an excellent job. Francis Ford Coppola, who was the director and co-writer of the screenplay for The Godfather. And again, I wouldn't say quite as good as those other two, but he was good. He was good. Now this next one's kind of interesting. I don't think it'd take you too many guesses as to whose son this guy is. This is Colin Hanks, the son of Tom Hanks. Now, he plays a fictional character. He plays Barry Lapidus. And what they did is there were too many people that were trying to shut down The Godfather. So rather than having 10 different people and have to tell their backstory, and you don't have time in a 1 hour TV series, even if it does run 10 episodes, to do that. So a lot of films do this. They fictionalized it, and he did a good job. Now this fella here, I'll tell you, he was absolutely on top of his game. This is Vern Gorman. He played Charles Bluedorn, who was the CEO of Gulf and Western, who was the parent company of Paramount Pictures at the time. And he's from the Dominican Republic. And I can't say enough of what a good job he did on his role. He was excellent. And like I say, I highly recommend to anybody watching this. It's on Paramount Plus. And, it kind of surprises me in a way, because Paramount made The Godfather, and this series is not 100%, doesn't make Paramount look good in a lot of the episodes. So it surprises me that they did this. Now, this lady here has probably won the most awards. She got nominated for 10 or 12 awards. And she won the Satellite Award for Best Actor. And she did an excellent job. She played Albert Ruddy's assistant / secretary. And it's a real person. And she went on, she played Betty McCart. And Betty McCart actually went on to be an agent. And one of the actors she was the agent for was Tom Selleck. So she apparently did real well for herself. Now, another character I think did an excellent job was Giovanni Ribisi. When I saw him, I could have sworn he was the guy that played Moriarty in Sherlock, but it isn't. They look very much alike. I had his picture up here. I was going to show you the similarity in appearances, but unfortunately I had to get rid of that so I could show you a picture of Juno Temple, the lady I just showed you. So it was either show you her or show you him, so you got him. So, but he played Joe Colombo. Did an excellent job. Excellent. All right, we had, let's see here, Patrick Gallo. Now, he played Mario Puzo, who wrote the book The Godfather and co-wrote the screenplay with Francis Ford Coppola. Did a good job. it was more of a background role, even though he was the writer of the film. He was the most he was in the first episode when they dealt with buying the rights to it and so forth. But there isn't anybody in this movie that wasn't good. There really wasn't. He was excellent. And let's see, well, and one surprise that I was pleased to see, because it's nice to see some actor from a time ago, and that was Lou Ferrigno. And Lou Ferrigno played Lenny Montana. And Lenny Montana was he's an actor playing an actor, although he wasn't just an actor. He played Luca Brasi. The guy was Luca Sheep Sleeps with the Fishes, that line in the movie. He was Lenny Montana was also a pro wrestler, and he was an enforcer for Joseph Colombo. Oh, sorry about that. I'm having mouse troubles. Along with everything else. Oops. All right, let's see here. Get rid of Lou Ferrigno. There we go. Bye, Lou. So that, like I say, that is an excellent film, especially if you are a fan of The Godfather. And who isn't? I mean, it's the best movie ever made. How could you not be a fan of The Godfather? Godfather 1, Godfather 2. I am absolutely 100% in favor of you watching both of those films. But whatever you do, don't watch Godfather 3, because it's terrible. I don't know what happened there, but somebody who helped making the first two movies went bye-bye, because it just was not the same film. There are so many movies and TV series out there right now that just, it's surprising that they spend as much money as they do to put these things out. Because some of them, I'll tell you, some of them are not very good. And we're not talking about B movies here. I mean, that was understandable. You know, back in the day, Plan 9 from Outer Space and Carnosaur and Reptilicus, you know, films that didn't cost $100 million to make, you know. But, you know, I've been to some movies that just, I mean, recent movies. Although, let me rewind here for just a second. I mentioned this before, but since we're talking about movies, and you may not have seen that episode where I talked about this, because the last episode, we had some problems here on Facebook where a lot of people watched the podcast, and our account got hacked. And when they hacked our account, they deleted our groups. So Melody had to fix it and put the groups back where they belonged and get this set up again so this will stream to the group. So you may not have seen last week's episode unless you went to YouTube and watched it. So I apologize if that happened. And we are going to try very hard to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, we're not in charge of Facebook, so we'll see. But anyway, last week I mentioned that I had taken my granddaughter to see the Barbie movie. Now, I was pretty much cringing about going to see the Barbie movie. I wasn't really thrilled about it. But I'll tell you, It really surprised me. It was good. It was really good. It was funny. Uh, they had a sense of humor. I'm amazed that Mattel was involved in this movie because they bash Mattel pretty regularly in this film. So you would think that Mattel wouldn't be real choked up about having this thing out there for everybody to watch, but uh, they seemed fine with it because they put their name up in front of it. They had the big logo of the company on the floor as you walked into the building. And so I guess they have a sense of humor, which is good to see because a lot of places nowadays don't have a sense of humor. They have attorneys. And that's what happens if you cross them is they get their attorneys out to bother you. Happened to me. I'll tell you that story. I used to, well, still do occasionally, but I used to buy and sell collectibles. And I came across a box at the swap meet of 35 millimeter movie trailers on little rolls, a little tiny reel. And I guess they used to splice them into the, back before the days of digital video, they used to splice them into the movie at the beginning of the movie so you'd see the movie trailer. Well, one of the ones I had was the Joy Luck Club. Now, I always liked the Joy Luck Club because I went to school with one of the actors in there, Rosalind Chow. She and I went to school together, rode on the same school bus. So I like to watch her stuff. It's like, hey, I know that lady. And I was selling on eBay. So I took that Joy Luck Club and I put it on eBay. And a couple days later, I get a notification from eBay that it had been requested by the owner that I take it off of eBay. So I didn't quite understand that because I didn't know who owned it. Well, come up, it was Disney that owned the Joy Luck Club. And Disney had one of their attorneys write me a cease and desist letter telling me to, never be seen selling Joy Luck Clubs on eBay ever again. And I actually kept the letter. I have it framed. I said, "Hey, I got threatened by Disney. How could you be any better than that?" And I took it down. And then, like about a week later, I had a replica of the Maltese Falcon, yay big, and it had a certificate of authenticity and everything on it. Well, apparently that certificate of authenticity with the studio's name on it was forged because I got a cease and desist letter from Warner Brothers. I think it was Time Warner at the time, and telling me, never to be seen carrying Maltese Falcons around again. So I that one got taken down off of eBay also. And then I got a warning notice from eBay. So anyway, that's just a funny little story about what can happen to you if you mess with the people in Hollywood. I like the old days when Johnny Grant was the unofficial mayor of Hollywood. And he was always there whenever they were unveiling a new star on the Walk of Fame. And, I didn't know that the stars had to pay for the installation of their own star. That just kind of seems, I don't know, rude or something. It doesn't seem like that's something that they should make them do. I mean, isn't that like a reward? Pay for your rewards. I'm sure the Academy doesn't make Tom Hanks pay for that statue. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they get a bill. Hey, that would be kind of unfortunate. A week later they come repossess your Oscar because you didn't pay for it. Uh, I'm actually the company I work for. It's called Red Digital Cinema. Our boss has an Oscar in his office that I don't remember what we won it for, but it had something to do, of course, with cinematography. And you wouldn't think that the people that made the camera would get an award. You'd think it'd just be the guy that has the camera in his hand. But apparently, we got an award. So I actually got to see one. Nobody can touch it. It's in a glass case. So ain't nobody touching it. I've seen a couple of Emmys before. I bought a car from the fellow who created Truth or Consequences. And he was gone, and his wife sold his car and had two Oscars sitting up on the mantle. And she let me hold one, which was really cool. I forget what it was for, but he had written apparently quite a few things. So that was kind of nice, get to do that. Let's see, what's the other thing I've gotten to do? I got to hold a gold medal. The high school that my daughter went to, one of the athletes was on the Olympic softball team one year when they had softball as one of the games. And she came to a football game and was walking around the stands and showing everybody her medal. And she let me hold it. That was pretty cool. So I've held an Emmy and I've held a Olympic gold medal. So that's pretty cool. How many of you can say that? So, Melody, just to give you a little inside information, Melody's hip and the medicine she's taking to control the pain for her hip are really causing her a lot of discomfort. So, give her a little slack. She'll fight through this and be back with us eventually. And maybe if nothing else, I can get her to film a little, hi everybody, I'm okay video. So you can see she hasn't left us. I hope never, because she's my sister. So just say that. Let's see what else is going on TV. Oh, here, I got a bone to pick with Amazon Prime. I picked at them last time, and I picked at them on Facebook. So Amazon Prime, when I bought the premium contract, to have the free deliveries and everything, and no ads on the videos. Well, they started, if you're watching a TV series, in between episode 1 and 2, they show you a little snippet of something they'd like you to watch. I didn't like that very much, but I figured, okay, at least they don't interrupt the movie like Freevee does. Although Freevee, I gotta tell you, I don't know if you've ever watched anything on Freevee, but Freevee's not bad. The commercials are very short. It's like YouTube, you get like 3 minutes worth of commercials sometimes in between the videos they show you. And the amount of video they show you before the commercial runs isn't a lot. You're talking maybe a minute, and then boom, you're into a commercial. But that, it's just getting really bad on the internet. The internet used to be something different. You used to be able to search something, pull it up, and read the content. But now they'll have something up there that looks real interesting, and you click on it, and it says, the New York Times has decided that you need to pay for this, It's a deal where it's clickbait is all it is. You don't get to read anything. Oh, and it comes up and says, you have run out of free content. Well, I never got any free content. How can I run out of something I've never gotten any of? So I don't know about that. That's just bad. And now Prime, not only are they showing these in-betweener commercials, but they got pop-up ads. So you can be on there looking for some show you want to watch, and all of a sudden in the middle of the screen pops up this ad for pantyhose, or it's not even something related to anything I am interested in. You know, women's handbags, or, you know, the least they could do is spy on me enough to tell what I liked. And you think they don't spy on you, you are wrong. In fact, the television and movie industry, they pay to have companies listen in on your telephone and see what you're watching. Because you have your phone usually somewhere near the TV. So when you're watching TV, they know what you're watching. That's why the Nielsen thing, we were, in my house, we were a Nielsen family at one time. What the Nielsen company used to do is they would pick a house, and it didn't matter who lived there. The Nielsen family was whoever lived in that house. So we happened to move into a house that had a Nielsen family in it. And they contacted us after we moved in there and asked us if we wanted to remain a Nielsen family. Now, what they used to do, it wasn't that big a deal then. Now it would really be a big deal. They used to pay our electric bill, and they used to fix any of our televisions that would go bad. If anything went wrong with the TV that had one of their boxes hooked up to it, they'd repair it. And that was nice. We had one time, we had a TV go out, and they fixed it. But we had like 4 or 5 TVs in the house, different rooms. And I used to kind of cheat. And I think I am personally responsible for keeping Star Trek on the air. Because I used to tune all 6 of our television sets to Star Trek. Every time it was on, any way, shape, or form of Star Trek, it was playing on all 6 of my television sets. So I think I am personally responsible for Star Trek being what it is today. So I think they owe me free cable. I don't have cable. That's one thing. Cable's going away. All this trouble they're having with lawsuits and let's see, who was it? Charter Cable, and the people are suing Charter Cable because they are no longer carrying Disney, because Disney and Charter Cable are having a contract dispute. But I think that goes on everywhere. Almost everybody's cable system has some channel you don't get because they're not willing to pay extra to get it. Here locally, some of the cable channels don't carry Channel 5. And Channel 5 locally here in Los Angeles is a pretty good channel for an independent channel. It used to be owned by Gene Autry, the singing cowboy. He owned KTLA, he owned KCOP, and I'm trying to remember what and he owned the Angels back then. So the Angels were always on KTLA, and let's see. Yeah, they were on KTLA. Once in a while they were on KCOP, whatever. KTLA would have something that conflicted, because I think KTLA also carried the Rams, and if somehow they were both on at the same time, they ran the baseball games on to KCOP. But you know, that's, I know I kind of drifted off the subject, but Gene Autry, he was really a good owner. A good owner. He did a lot of things for the local community, and I'm sorry to see him go, but you know, he lived a good long life. His wife took over the team for a little while, then they sold it to Disney, and Disney practically destroyed it, and now it's owned by Artie Moreno. Artie Moreno keeps threatening to move the team to Mexico City. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be very expensive. The stadium is the thing they're ending up with problems, because the city and the Angels are always fighting it out with each other. So let's see. I think I'm just about run out of entertainment stuff. Let's see if I've got anything else written here that I was going to tell you about. Yeah, well, let's see. On the Drew Barrymore, if you get a chance, get on YouTube and watch her. It just put up there a crying Drew Barrymore video, and you'll see it, because she really just comes apart. I always like Drew Barrymore. She's got my favorite line in the movie, I think, which was when she was a little girl in E.T., and she says, "Alligators in the sewers." I always like that. That's, like I said, that's probably my favorite line in the movie, and it was performed by a little kid. All right, well, we've just about run out of time, and I've just about run out of tonsils. So I'm going to wrap this up, and y'all say a little prayer for Melody. Hopefully, she'll be feeling better and back with us next week. So, you all take care of yourselves, and I will play us out. So, take care. Bye bye.